Welcome to our show, Creigh.
Thank you so much.
It was one of those things that I saw you on The Voice, and then my little algorithm pulled you up, and I was so fascinated with what makes your story, all these chapters. And today we're talking about the courage chapters, and you are full of that.
Oh, thank you. There have been lots of, challenging moments in my life. I grew up in a small town in Virginia. I lost my dad when I was 14. That was a tough age to lose, that figure in your life. And he had always been supportive of me creating music and pursuing that. And
what did he pass away from?
He had lung cancer.
Lung cancer.
At 14, I was like, of course he's going to be around to see me graduate. Of course he's going to be around to see me get married. Of course he's going to be around to see all of these big moments in my life. But 6 months later, he passed away.
You said music really got you through. How did you channel that energy during that time?
Well, I think early on, it wound up being something else to focus on. I hate to call it a distraction because it was more than that. It was a good way to redirect kind of my attention.
And redirecting it did. You joined a boy band.
Right out of college, I was approached by this band who was looking for another member. The style of the music, it was very like pop country, and the harmonies. The harmonies is what really attracted me early on, because I love big vocal groups like the Eagles and like Little Texas. And we got to open for Tim McGraw. That was in Monticello, Iowa. That was 20,000 people. That was the biggest show we ever played.
Well, and then your band did break up.
We did, yes.
Yeah, how did you handle, it's not like a breakup of a relationship, but it is.
We were together a lot, and it did feel like, the ending of a relationship. At that point, I just found myself in a really dark place because I had invested like all of my creative energy into this band for, 4 years, 5 years out of college, and thought that was what I was going to be doing for the rest of my life. Like, I loved these guys. I was stuck again, and part of what was causing all of that inner turmoil was that I had never really truly confronted the loss of my dad. That was part of it from a young age. There was a lot of kind of like undealt with grief there. And then, here comes again the breakup of this thing that, was very important to me. All of those things together just put me in a really dark headspace of not knowing what the future was going to look like, not having a whole lot of hope.
Right.
I just knew that I needed to change, and my wife knew that something was wrong. I was struggling with alcohol, and so to get out of that, I just had a wake-up call that, I need to live for my family. I need to be the dad that I want to be. I need to be the spouse that I picture myself to be. I had a true awakening in my faith that I had never had before. It was a radical transformation, unlike anything that I've ever experienced in my life. And so the person that you're speaking to right now is a very, very different person that existed, 5 years ago.
Creigh Riepe discovered a newfound courage to share his story with the nation, not only on our stage, but also on The Voice. Faced with the daunting task of owning his challenging chapters publicly, he transformed vulnerability into strength, revealing the depths of his experience through music.
I thought that there was something in my story that I could share that would hopefully help other people. And so that was a big driving, contributing factor to wanting to try out for it, was to share my story. Like everybody on the show is sharing their backstory, their history. That's a huge part of it. And so
did it take you a moment to wrap your mind around being so vulnerable on a national scale?
It did, yeah. My wife and I, we prayed through it because you're putting yourself out there in a very vulnerable way.
You put your story out there. How freeing was that?
It was really cool because I had never done anything like that vulnerable, aside from a one-on-one conversation in a closed room. It was very liberating and freeing to share that and to be comfortable doing it, because I'd never been comfortable sharing anything that didn't paint me in a positive light ahead of that.
What was it like for your daughter to see you on the national scale?
Well, she was there for the blind auditions, and so I was walking out of the doors and I could see Sarah and Eliza and Florence, and Florence, she just waves and she goes, "Hi, Daddy." She was very excited about it.
She had her little debut.
She did.
Okay, so let's talk about what you're doing now. You are writing more music. How do you come up with what you're writing?
I'm writing things that are not just important to me, but things that I hope will inspire some sort of life change in other people. The greatest purpose behind what I'm doing now is to inspire life change for those people who are still living for themselves and have not had the eye-opening experience that I was blessed to have, to see that I needed a radical change in my life to experience the goodness of this life that I know I was called to experience. My goals are to be the best dad and the best husband, the best person that I can be, and to share my story with the world so that I can hopefully help other people change their lives for the better. I felt my life spinning out of my control, breaking under self-inflicted pressure in my soul.
On this potter's wheel, you take this piece of clay, you make it something new, you make me something new. On this potter's wheel, you shape me in your hands. You're far from grace creation, coming back into your plan, your perfect plan.